BlizzCon! We love
drama. What's going on, everybody?
Hello! Guys, it's the day! Oh my god, I'm so excited! Let's get this shit on the road. I woke up, I'm like, whoa, so many announcements, so tired.
Because I think BlizzCon happens actually at 3 a.m.
our time.
Sydney time when we're asleep. And then obviously we wake up at about 6:30 a.m. to get ready for this show, because then we film at 8 a.m. because we are up early for you guys.
Just for you guys. And the dollary dues. No, mostly you guys.
Nice, Sam. Really nice. Classic YouTuber. So, look, today's obviously going to be a big day of BlizzCon announcements. They've just happened. And not all of them have happened yet, by the way. There are still a few things that we can expect to see announced from BlizzCon. There's a few more coming soon blocks scheduled throughout the rest of the day and tomorrow. So it's not everything, but it's obviously like their big headline items that they've got here.
I'm guessing it's going to be panels on Overwatch 2, it's going to be panels on Diablo 4. Maybe it's going to be a panel on new IP. We don't know, but I don't think we're going to see any new IP.
Does that look clearer today, by the way? Because we're doing we're doing different focus settings now, so hopefully it's not shit. Anyway, let's
get into it.
What did you play this week, Sam? Tell me. Before we get into the news, let's talk about this week.
Oh, I played Outer Worlds.
What'd you think of Outer Worlds?
I thought it was alright. I didn't like it at the beginning because I just was like, I went to the, for people that have played it, I went to the planet that it tells you to go to, and then I'm like, this is too difficult, what the fuck? Spent an hour there trying to kill, big, giant monsters. Finally found out I had to go somewhere else. But all in all, I mean, I didn't mind it. Alec Thickboy loves that game.
Does he really?
Oh, he's playing so much of that game.
He loves Fallout games.
Yeah. So look, apart from that, Overwatch, Super Smash Brothers. Let's be real.
What about little known title called Death Stranding?
That was a week before. Right?
That was actually a week before you finished that.
Yeah, exactly right. So we've done our review. Also, we'll get to that. The review roundup. I'm actually very surprised with the reviews. Very surprised, especially with one review.
Yeah.
That gave it such a scathing number that I was just like, this can't be real. Oh,
I think that was a troll review to get clicks.
I mean, it must be. You know, I saw some of the comment sections at the bottom. They're like, no name reviewer, no name site trashes game. 15 seconds of fame. It worked. Everyone's talking about it. You couldn't even get on the actual website.
Yeah, that's like crashed yesterday as a result of...
What's it called, the website?
Stevivor. It crashed either as a result of traffic load or as a result of getting DDoSed. Kojima fans were like,
or maybe
been
Kojima
waiting for
himself.
this. This is my moment.
Yeah. So, what have you played?
I only played Death Stranding this week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because I did the Outer Worlds last week, and that's when I did my review of that, and then this week was Death Stranding. So look, anyway, we'll come back to that. Anyway, look, let's start getting into the big news of the day.
There's a lot to cover.
There is huge amounts to cover today because obviously it's International BlizzCon Day today.
Yeah. Now we're going to be mostly doing Blizz news, but we're also going to be doing some other stuff later on that's not associated with Blizzard, but it is associated with Fail. Okay, so we'll see.
Very important. The thumbnail does actually say Fallout. That thumbnail will probably get changed after this video gets uploaded. Because this news is obviously a bit more juicy.
More yellow. Oi.
Hey, more yellow.
More yellow.
What's going on, guys? They're our management agency.
How are we? They're like, you better not say anything bad about us. We love more yellow.
Everything announced at BlizzCon 2019. Okay, so the stakes were very high for BlizzCon.
The highest.
They really needed to nail it. And I think overall, so far, so good in terms of the stuff that they've announced.
Yeah.
They've certainly put a few feet right. The very first thing, though, is an announcement. An apology. Okay, now, we're going to play this for you here, and I'm going to hope that it comes through. Let's just listen to this here. I've got the audio.
It's 3 minutes long, though.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's interesting to listen. This is Blizzard apologizing for all their stuff. Let's hear what they have to say.
Start the opening ceremony. I want to say a few words.
Wait.
Blizzard had the opportunity to bring the world together in a tough Hearthstone esports moment about a month ago, and we did not. We moved too quickly in our decision making, and then, to make matters worse, we were too slow to talk with all of you.
That like ratio, though. Oof.
When I think about what I'm most unhappy about, there's really two things. The first one is we didn't live up to the high standards that we really set for ourselves. And the second is we failed in our purpose. And for that, I am sorry, and I accept accountability.
I really hope we're getting audio.
So what exactly...
You guys are doing that right?
He said we accept. He's like, we'll play that bit again because we spoke. I think that's like the critical part, but we don't want you to miss it. You can listen to it
in
again.
our purpose. And for that, I am sorry, and I accept accountability. So what
Sounds
exactly?
like he's getting emotional then.
I think so. Look, I mean, it also ultimately just goes throughout there. Should we just stop that there and actually talk about it? Because
let's listen
if you
to
want to
this
go more,
next
you can.
block. Yeah.
So what exactly is our purpose? BlizzCon is demonstrating it even as we speak. We aspire to bring the world together in epic entertainment. And I truly believe in the positive power of video games.
So yeah, he does go on after that
exactly.
to sort of like, say the things that you want him to say.
When we get it right.
I'm just going to turn this down now.
Yeah, now the like ratio is quite interesting.
Yeah, people
Look,
hate
I
this.
didn't expect it to be an incredible like ratio. But like, what do you say to this? It's not, of course, going to fix everything, but if they're going to get on stage and have the president sit there and actually talk about that they've done something wrong and they want to take accountability at the biggest event they have of the year in front of an audience that's in the millions, it's a step forward, like, don't get us wrong, like, they've done some shitty things, we know that, but at the same time, they have to be, I believe that Blizzard has to see that the audience, is giving them something for them actually taking accountability, because that's exactly what they're doing,
Look, I think a lot of people are looking at this as like a non-apology and insincere and whatever else. I mean, I feel like I don't think it's insincere. I feel like I did see him get emotional up there. I mean, obviously this guy lives and breathes Blizzard every day. I'm sure if his company was going through what it's going through, it would affect him personally. And I did feel like he had some emotion up there. But I feel like actions speak louder than words, you know what I mean? And so he said the right things in terms of, I'm sorry, we take accountability, but BlizzCon is still banned for 6 months, and so are those casters. And I still think that's too harsh a punishment for what those guys have done.
And look, he went on to say later on in that apology that freedom of speech is something that's going to be fine throughout the whole BlizzCon. So he's obviously tried to set the record straight in terms of BlizzCon is going to be a place where people can say whatever they want. So that means to me that we are going to see Q&As and we are going to see many people able to get up and actually say what they want to say.
Yes.
Again, does that mean it's all fixed? Of course not. Like, sure, they've done some shitty things, and you're right in saying that we still have a ban for the casters as well as BlitzChung that is far too harsh.
Yeah.
I just hope now, off the back of that, maybe we can also see that that ban also leave. That would again move that more forward in terms of.
I agree. If he'd stood up and said, "Look, we got this wrong, and we keep getting it wrong, and we decided to reduce the bans to 1 month or something." And not ban the casters, I reckon, that's something. But I believe what he set up on stage was sincere. I think it's good they addressed it as well. I like the fact that they actually, it's the elephant in the room, and they addressed it head on.
Yeah.
And so I respect that.
I'm guessing I don't know if that's the first thing they said, but look, BlizzCon's only been on for five hours or so.
Yeah. There was the first thing they said before the keynote began.
There we go. Okay, great. So I was just going to say, regardless if it's within the 5-hour period of the 3-day event, I mean, they are hitting it before the event really kicks off. So I'm glad that they've done that. The like ratio, of course, is speaking volumes in terms of what the community still feels. So in reality, is this going to make the whole Blizzard situation better for them? Maybe a little bit. Maybe.
I'm sure some people are going to be satisfied with what they've said. I'm sure some people are not. There are obviously protests happening at BlizzCon at the moment. We've got footage here of a group of protesters outside who are handing out free Hong Kong shirts to anyone that wants them, and then people can wear those shirts in BlizzCon if they like.
I don't know if those people are just walking past.
Yeah, those people are walking past.
So we don't actually know how big or small this protest really is, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm guessing you were right, actually, Ralph, in terms of
it was never going to be thousands of people. No.
I thought it could be 100 or 2, I thought it was going to be a little bit more, but maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah. Look, but look, I think, as I said, Blizzard did the right thing by addressing it. I think actions speak louder than words. I think, I do think that was an apology. People say it's a non-apology. I think he said sorry, but I think saying the words isn't enough. I think it has to be like, what are you doing? And until those bans are lifted, I don't think you can really take that apology like fully seriously.
Definitely.
You know?
And I wonder how much power he does have compared to the higher execs. You know, maybe he only has so much power in this situation. You know, maybe he's. I'm guessing here, but maybe he has done everything he can in terms of trying to make that better.
I mean, he's like, you know, head
he's
of the company.
Dude.
Like,
Sure. But he's
yeah.
he's also answering to Activision and shareholders and you know all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of cogs in the wheel. So, but I agree, it's not fixed. It's not even close to being fixed. But I think it is a step in the right direction. But we've got a lot of super chats.
Let's get through the super chats super quick. Kamal with $2. Thank you very much.
Christopher first with the new membership.
Thank you very much, Christopher. We love you. Finally catching a live stream. Love you guys. Says it's Apple shampoo.
Well, we love you too, Apple
that would
shampoo.
Smell nice.
I think I want some Apple shampoo.
Kayla Donald with $10. Thank you very much for the love heart.
We love you too.
Mr. Bright, $10. Love you guys. Have to go, but I'll watch the video later when you post it. Thank you, Mr. Bright.
I see how it is, man. Okay, no worries. You leave then.
Thank you for your work, guys. 10 Paladin dollars. Thank you very much, Manolo. Up nice and early to catch Laymen. Excellent start to the day. Thank you very much,
Thank
Lawrence.
You so much,
$10.
Lawrence.
Hi from Brazil. Send hello to Juliana. She's my girlfriend, and she really enjoys the show. Keep it up, Augusto.
We send her love.
We send her lots of
but
love. But
nice love. She's yours, man.
just yeah, PG rated, wholesome love.
She's yours, man.
Wholesome love. X-Rio, $20. I miss Sam's beards.
I mean, you're the only person that does. I mean, the layman community, the only people that miss my beard. My mum is so happy that I got this off. And you didn't like the beard either.
The beard looks so shit, bro.
I like the beard.
You look like a hobo.
Okay? I looked more like older and stuff. Now I look like a 12-year-old boy. I'm like, yeah, Death Stranding was good.
Lawrence Ferguson, other than Overwatch and WoW, are there any other Blizzard games you really enjoy? Just putting the controversy aside for the moment.
Look, I mean, it used to be Warcraft 3, of course.
I love Diablo. It's one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, sure. Diablo 2, Diablo 3, I thought was good.
I really liked Hearthstone until it became impossible to keep up with it without spending thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I like all Blizzard games, to be honest.
Yeah.
Blizzard, except for Heroes of the Storm.
And StarCraft. I wasn't a huge fan of StarCraft.
StarCraft.
Look, I played a bit of it, but it wasn't my jam.
Spectre with $20. Thank you very much from Hawaii. Love the content. Have a
Say hi
coffee
to
on me,
what's
boys.
his name? Chris something? Chris Lee.
Chris Lee.
Chris Lee.
Sievert with €10. Have a coffee on me, boys. That's an expensive coffee.
That's a lot of coffee. Thank you.
So, sup, guys? Love the show. Want Blizzard in a nutshell? Have you seen?
Is that 1,000 Hufflepuff?
I don't know what
that is.
HUF currency is, but whatever it is, it's 1,000
Thank
of it.
you.
So thank you very much. Want Blizzard in a nutshell? Have you seen War 3 Reforged Beta? I've seen Alpha in better shape. It's abysmal. Oh,
That's right. So I actually originally thought that there wasn't anything. The beta wasn't happening, and I hadn't seen much. But apparently there is a closed beta at the moment. So I'm guessing it's going to be coming out quite soon. Then.
Keep up the good work, boys. Says Neil
deGrasse Tyson. Great, thank you.
Neil Tpa. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. Keep
Tpal
up the good work. Importantly, the good memes. Any thoughts on the IGN Death Stranding review? We're going to come to Death Stranding reviews after we do the BlizzCon news, so stick around. Ben with $5. Love the work, lads. Thanks for covering BlizzCon. Quick question: is Sam the new thick boy? Pretty much.
I thought I was losing weight. I think Ralph's actually slowly becoming the thick boy.
This is facts.
We'll see.
Alex, $5. Can I get a shout out from the thick boys in North Dakota, USA? I've never been to North Dakota. I hear it's cold.
Is it cold?
I hear that's what it is.
Well, shout out then to you.
Maybe it's South Dakota that's cold.
I got no idea.
I don't know. In Australia, South equals cold, so maybe I'm confused.
Yeah, it does.
And what else we got?
A lot here, but
there's a few more.
Let's just quickly get through them.
Okay, we'll quickly get through them and we'll keep going. Can I get some Euro dues from Germany from my favorite Aussies? Keep it up, says Marcus. Thank you very much. Angus or Angsa Odinson, $5. He didn't actually apologize for everything. He just said sorry for insert meaningless, nebulous bullshit.
I'm sure some people will feel that, but ultimately, I think we just have different opinions.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't apologize. He just said sorry for. I don't know. I feel like. I think it was. He didn't really say I'm sorry that we came down too hard on Blitzchung and banned him for too long. He didn't explicitly spell it out, but everyone knows what he was apologizing for. Yeah. It was the whole handling of the circumstance.
Yeah.
But I get why a lot of people don't like that apology. Totally understand. Will the beard ever make a return? Says Bartosz for £20.
Maybe not. But we'll go
on
to the next question actually that connects to your question. Ralph with the beard. I've seen Ralph with the beard. Looks horrendous.
It looks like I've said this many times. It looks like I've glued pubes to my face.
It looks terrible. Yeah. Should we do that? Should we just get Ralph to do a beard?
No, we should not glue pubes to my face.
No, I mean, should we get you to grow a beard?
No, we can't do that.
Oh, come on. Let's do it.
$10 to regrow the beard. Keep up the good. That's from Doug.
$100 and maybe I'll consider it, people.
Daniel Zavala, keep up the good work, guys. Great name, by the way. Chicago in this piece.
Zavala.
And have you ever watched Mandalore Gaming reviews, Stephen? Yes, I have. I love his reviews. He makes fantastic stuff. If anyone hasn't checked out Mandalore Gaming, he reviews old games, but just in a really down-to-earth, super cool, super in-depth way. I love his stuff. I really recommend it. So,
We've got one more and that's it.
no, we don't. We can't read that one because it's stuffed.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Oh, there it is there. Huff is Hungarian foreign.
Ralph with beard. Right,
Ralph
there you
with
go.
beard.
Right.
All right.
So keeping
Thank
on
you
with
so much.
the announcements, we got news that there is a Warcraft expansion coming. This was obviously leaked earlier by some leaked art. It is Shadowlands. It is a new WoW expansion.
I don't think there's any such thing as an announcement these days. It's like everyone just finds this shit.
No,
on the
that's
internet.
not true. I mean, like Apex,
When's the last time? Okay,
Apex Legend just comes out. By the way, the game is out.
Sure, fine. Okay, fine. But anything else that we're expecting, like, I don't know, Nintendo Directs and all this kind of stuff, it's always already shown. But anyway, we're going to be getting a new expansion now. That's 2020, and that sounds like it's actually in line with all the other expansions every 2 years or so. They need this to be good, people. They need it to be good. Battle for Azeroth was not their best. Okay?
Yeah,
I played a little bit of it, but like I'm out of the loop of WoW now, you know. But the general reception is people were not happy with this.
It's a terrible expansion.
It needs to be a big one.
The expansion for Shadowlands will include new factions called Covenants, plus high-level raids and an all-new character class. Shadowlands goes up for pre-order online today because, of course, it does. From what I've heard, this is kind of like players will choose which Covenant to join, and so it's not just like Horde and Alliance.
That's
now,
crazy,
it's kind
like
of
a
more
Horde and Alliance.
No, but I mean, like, it's more splintered than that. So I don't know any more of the details because I haven't had a chance to dig into it yet. But look, it's a WoW expansion. It's coming.
And we'll play it, you know.
It's due in 2020. I will definitely play it. I mean, I'm loving Final Fantasy so much right now. I'm not really feeling a strong urge to play WoW, but by that point, like, Final Fantasy will be like still another year away from its next expansion. So maybe I'll be ready at that time.
Yeah. Are you still going to do your
WoW?
WoW Classic or not?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think so.
No,
I
it's put in the Sekiro pile, everybody. Okay, you heard it first.
Sekiro pile's getting bigger and bigger. So the other big news, obviously, is the announcement of Diablo 4. Now, we can start playing this trailer in the background so you can check it out. Now, what do we know about Diablo 4? We know it exists.
We know it's pretty dark.
We know it's very dark.
Before. Now, before it was, you know, a bit more, I don't know, cartoony, I would say. Still had the whole like Diablo feel to it, but ultimately it's not going to be the same thing I think we've seen. Now, I did think that this game, this franchise, although it's always been very good, I was really expecting something a bit different. We've seen gameplay now; it's still the same camera angle. It just looks like an expansion, if I was to be honest.
That's pretty harsh words.
I
bro.
mean,
don't know about
maybe
that
that's
one.
harsh, but just from what I've seen, I mean, maybe okay. This is where I think it's come from. When I originally heard that they were thinking of doing maybe a Dark Souls-esque, even the fantasy kind of shooter thing or whatever they were thinking of doing with Diablo, right? There's all these different ideas.
You just
and
wanted Diablo to be
speculations.
Overwatch, didn't you?
I don't know what I wanted it to be.
You disgust me.
But I did know that I wanted it something different, you know. I think the idea that there was leaks about that it was going to be something, a fresh take on it, got me in the mind frame of, okay, let's expect something different. And we haven't actually got that. From what I've seen from the gameplay, it looks very similar.
I mean, okay, I think it's way too early to say that.
Sure, I'm just talking about the camera angle, the actual gameplay loop, as we know from Diablo. It looks like this is exactly what we've seen before. I'm just going off what we've seen.
I don't think I think it's too early to say that. Like, I do feel as though, yes, I feel like from the perspective of camera angle and the like, it's definitely very similar.
Yep.
This is clearly, they did not like take many risks per se with this. But it's possible, because everyone's saying this really harkens back to Diablo 2 in terms of its design aesthetic. Like, it's much darker, much more gothic, much more gritty, which I think is a great step for the franchise. How that plays out in terms of actual gameplay systems is unclear, because certainly when Diablo 3 launched, it was way less deep, way less sophisticated than Diablo 2 was. So it really, we need to see how these gameplay mechanics
like that
play
just
out.
looks Diablo 3, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I don't think so. I think the animations look different.
I mean, sure they do, because it's of course it's going to be it's the next part of the franchise. There's going to be new animations. There's going to be new things. But what I'm saying is, it just looks like you're right in saying there's not a lot of risk there. They just want to give you more Diablo,
Which is again exactly what people want.
fine. That's
you know
all
what I mean?
good, but that's what I'm coming back to. Like I think it's safe to say from the gameplay that we've seen that we might not be getting anything that's fundamentally different from what we've already experienced.
I would agree with that.
That's what I mean. That's all I'm saying.
But it could be genius, though, in the sense that, like, you know, you if you made a proper sequel to Diablo 2 and you had fantastic, really deep gameplay systems, and
Sure.
if you, like, really nailed that Diablo 2 sequel that we never really got, it could be fantastic. But, yes, it's not like, hey, Diablo meets Dark Souls, Diablo first-person shooter, fantasy shooter, whatever.
Yeah.
It is less risky than I think a lot of people were expecting or hoping. I think the overall reception to this, though, has been pretty good. Like, most people who are looking at this trailer... I don't know what the like ratio on this trailer is.
Let's have a look.
It's
Is this the official Diablo?
yeah, it's the official trailer. People are liking what they're seeing.
95 or something, whatever it is.
I mean, like, I think the reception's been pretty positive so far. So that's good. And I think people, you know, the Blizzard really needed to land a good announcement for Diablo. This doesn't blow me away, obviously. I don't know that this could necessarily blow anyone away, but it's good that they're taking this direction artistically. I'm interested in it, and I'm hopeful that it does feel more like Diablo 2 than Diablo 3.
Yeah, because I think that's where, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it, in terms of Diablo 2 was just so what people wanted, and they did go a different route for Diablo 3. If they can return to that, I think it's also a safer option, because they saw the reception of Diablo 3. It wasn't great. Was it because it was a buggy mess at the beginning, or the whole auction house thing that just kind of completely ruined the economy at the beginning? Or was it really just because people were just like, oh, this feels too cartoony? I don't know, right? But I hope that this is a good game, because, you know, it's always great to be like, Blizzard bad, but, like, I want good games from Blizzard, you know?
Sure.
I want something to come out that I can go, great, I can sink 100 hours into this, like Overwatch has been for me. So I hope that this is what we're going to see.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Totally agree with everything you said, Sam.
Here we go. You're like,
once.
what am I? Yep.
Okay, so the next announcement is actually very surprising. Well, we knew Overwatch 2 was coming, but I think the manner or the way it's coming is more surprising than we thought. So why don't you handle this one, Sam?
So look,
because this is kind of the moment you've been training your entire life for.
Finally. Okay, everyone that has not been living under a rock knows that Overwatch won Game of the Year 2016. It has been a gigantic success for Blizzard, right? Now, I knew that this was going to be coming. We saw some leaks only a couple of weeks ago, really, actually, showing some screenshots and some rough details as to what we were going to see. There was talk about PvE, there was talk about abilities and some new heroes and some new maps, and also a new mode. So now this has all been revealed, and this is exactly what actually was leaked. There is going to be a new hero. There is going to be a lot of a huge emphasis on PvE. There also is going to be a new style of mission where instead of you pushing the payload, you've got this giant robot that is going to be pushing it for you. I believe that the other team also has a robot pushing theirs. I believe you're trying to get to the one spot before the other team. I might be wrong on that one, but I think that's what the whole idea is.
How is payload different to push?
Okay, so payload is you both... Okay, so you've got your team pushing the payload, and then the other team is stopping that payload.
Yeah.
I believe the new one is going to be you both have two separate payloads.
Oh, it's
a
race to the...
I think it's PvE that's going to be pushing you guys back. So more details than that, I'm sure. Now, the interesting thing here, how Jeff has actually kind of positioned this...
Jeff from the Overwatch
team.
Jeff
from the Overwatch team, really excited. He's ultimately kind of worded it like, if you have Overwatch 1, you can play with Overwatch 2 players. He's kind of made it sound like it's not... You do have to pay for Overwatch 2, but you still then get to play with one another. I don't know how that works. I mean, I don't understand if they are going to be integrating an ability system into Overwatch 2. How do you then play with Overwatch 1 characters? Are they only saying that on the PvP side, and the PvE side is going to be the only one that has the abilities? I'm not sure, but it doesn't make sense.
It has to be a level playing field. I mean, like...
It has to be, right?
Everything in... I think what Jess made clear is that on the multiplayer side of things, everything is identical no matter what you own, right?
I actually don't think he... I don't know if he specified the PvE is the only one that's going to be the abilities. I'm not sure also.
Well, look, there's a quote here, and I'm just going to switch back to while we do it. There's a quote here where he said...
Where is it?
It's somewhere here. I've got it. Jeff says... okay, right, here we are. This is exactly what Jeff Kaplan has said about
For all
this.
original players... Oh,
we'll switch over to it, Sam.
Okay,
Let
for
them
all
read
original
for themselves.
players of the current Overwatch game, you will get to play on all of the same maps as Overwatch 2 players, including all the brand new maps that are coming to Overwatch 2. And you'll get to play with all the same heroes as Overwatch 2 players. It will be shared multiplayer environments where no one gets left behind. We want to make sure that all Overwatch cosmetics come forward with you into Overwatch 2, so all your progress matters, nothing's left behind. So that's what I mean. It doesn't really say is this meaning that anyone that owns Overwatch 1 gets Overwatch 2, or are they saying that they're two separate products? If you purchase number 2, you can still play with the player base of Overwatch 1. It's unclear. It's really unclear.
I think Overwatch, including all the brand new maps that are coming to Overwatch 2, you get to play with all the same heroes as Overwatch 2 players.
Yes.
I feel like it's just saying that. Yeah, but maybe you're right though, because it doesn't explicitly say that everything is identical across multiplayer.
What I was hoping for him to say was exactly right. Number 1, everything's identical in terms of abilities, and it's going to be an even playing field. Number 2, I wanted him to say this is something that you have to pay for, or no, you do not pay for Overwatch 2. This is just the continuation of Overwatch 1. We didn't see that, which leads me to believe that this is in fact a paid product.
Well, I think Overwatch 2 is certainly a paid product, but I think what you might be paying for is the
graphics upgrade. That's one.
The PvE stuff, 2. And then I think that they might just have pretty much identical multiplayer, like, shared between Overwatch 1 and 2. And that means if you've already got Overwatch 1, then you can obviously still participate in the multiplayer side of things.
Yeah, it all lines up very neatly if it is in fact that the abilities are only going to be seen on the PvE side. I mean, it'd be a shame if it is, because it'd be kind of cool to really customize your character with PvP. I'd like to have different ults, different abilities that I can customize that works for me when I'm versing other players, and they equally also have the ability to have their own abilities. Because if you play a hell of a lot of Overwatch, like, there's only 3 or 4 things that hero can do against you, and once they've used that and that cooldowns up, then you can have a certain way that you want to go and attack them. Be a really interesting mechanic if they're like, well, actually their second ability can be whatever they've chosen, so you don't know what to expect. It would completely change the way that we would play PvP. But if they don't go down that route, I understand, because they want to have 2 pools of people, Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, playing together. But again, it's a shame if that isn't the case, because anyone that has played a lot of, anyone that's played a lot of games that do have hero abilities, all you got to know is what those abilities are. It's on cooldown. Cool, I can go and attack. So we'll have to see if they actually, go down that route.
Yeah, overall, I would say that from an Overwatch announcement perspective, I think that they've done a pretty good job in the sense that if they announce, by the way, it's a box sequel for $60 and we don't take your cosmetics over, like they did with Destiny 2, for example, everyone will be like, fuck you. But I feel like this is much better. Obviously it remains to be seen exactly how it plays and what the details are and what have you. But overall, I think the Overwatch community is going to be pretty happy with this.
I think this is a great byproduct of, like, Blizzard being in trouble.
Yeah. Maybe they had those plans and, like, fuck, guys. Everyone hates us now.
If they were, like, still golden goose laying golden eggs, they'd be like, fuck it, people will pay for Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
But now they're not in that camp. I genuinely wonder if that was going to be a different situation. We got a lot of super chats. Let's get to that, and let's continue.
Well, there's more Blizzard news after this. Where do we even start from? Because there's a few. Ralph with Beard, no, we covered that one. Am I planning my Outer Wilds review, says your boy, for £5? Yes, I am planning my Outer Wilds review. That's actually going to be my Game of the Year video.
Haven't you done that yet?
No.
I thought you'd already done that review.
No, I done Outer Worlds, not Outer Wilds. So we'll come back to that one later on.
Yeah, the pool of Sekiro, of the Sekiro pile is
There's also
growing.
Destiny and Final Fantasy before the end of the year.
God.
I'm fucked.
You are.
Guys are great. Will the Laymen do a crossover with the Coffee Sisters? I don't know who that is.
I don't know who the Coffee Sisters are.
Okay, Boomer.
But if we can, sure.
Tech next, $6. Keep up the good with $666. I like what you did there. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. I'll be rooting for you all the way to 1 million subs. Respect.
Don't you mean 10 million subs, man? I think that's what he means.
Peter Hogan DePaul. We have a Paul Hogan DePaul Hogan.
Oh, do we have a DePaul Hogan DePaul? Yeah.
$5. Keep it being good work. Yong out. 004 will be fully open world, so it's got that. Really, says
I see.
Cooking 420. A nice donation.
Well,
by the
actually,
way.
It's interesting because Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 was like large hub worlds. It was a large hub world. So I guess it's just a continuation of that. That'd be interesting though.
Kim Novak, welcome back. Keep up the good work with the gaming news and all those memes. Enjoy your day off next week. Even if you aren't in Melbourne. What's our day off next week?
We have a day off next week?
Is it the Melbourne Cup? Oh, it's Melbourne Cup. Yeah, it is.
I see.
We don't do this.
Actually, I'm doing MCing gig that day.
Are you?
Yeah.
For who?
Oh, so something.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be busy.
There you go. Don't forget to place your bets with
Sports Bet.
Lad bros.
Responsibly.
Don't tell the missus.
Get away from the missus.
First time catching your stream live, so early up for a stat. Support my fellow Aussies. Thank you very much. Asterisk with $10. Cisenio's back with $30 Paladin dollars.
Oh, thank you.
Been a busy 2 weeks. Sam, hype for Overwatch 2. I think it's pretty clear.
I am pretty hyped.
Drake,
even if we hate Blizzard.
Agree with Ralph. Diablo 4 looks too similar to Diablo 3.
That's what I said.
That's, yeah, Sam's getting all the credit.
I'm Ralph.
Colton DK, welcome back, Colton, with Donkey Kong Coins. Love from Denmark. Thank you very much. Meno2 with $10. Been watching you guys for a year. Much love. Happy to finally be able to toss you some dollary dues. Stay awesome,
Thank you,
thick
man.
boys. Also, go play Nier again. Bought it because of skill up.
Ooh,
yes, that's always
I
a
have
good
to play that
use of
still.
time playing Nier. Rurari McCovney with $10.
Thank you.
I butchered your name. Apologies. 1,000 Huffington Post points.
Thank you. I like
From
that.
Nandor. The
Yes.
ability and leveling is just for PvE. They already confirmed. Basically, you buy Overwatch 2 if you really want PvE.
There we go.
The PvP is joy. There you go.
see.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Is this where I pay to get premium Snapchat? Says Chris.
Oh,
Lockwood.
yeah, why not?
Nice. For our lewds.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chris. It's very generous. All right, let's get back to the news now. The last piece of Blizzard news that came through was an announcement of an auto chess style Hearthstone game thing.
Ooh, I didn't see this.
You know, like Dota
Interesting.
Underlords and
Okay.
Teamfight Tactics and the like. Hearthstone is getting one of those. Yes, it arrives in December, and
Let's play
you
the
can
gameplay
try it.
trailer while
This is a
we-
cinematic trailer. There's actually no gameplay
Oh,
trailer.
okay.
But maybe there is, but I can't find it. So
Sure.
look, either way, that's another thing that's coming. Fair enough.
I mean,
I don't like these sorts of games. I find them too RNG. I find them fun for like 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
then I realize that I can't really control what's going on. So then I get bored of them. When I
yeah,
stop.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I think it'll be. I mean, I was expecting another actual expansion. Is that an expansion though?
I think this is
Sounds like
what
a
they're
new-
doing instead of an expansion, maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So look, anyway, that's all of the. What the hell is this?
What the hell?
Go
is that?
away! No one wants
doesn't
you.
wanna move.
Just close.
There we go.
Whoa, Jesus.
You just started an
I
update.
just started an update.
Whoa.
Jesus, stop that, please. I hope our
Okay.
computer doesn't crash.
That's
All right, so
okay.
look, that's all the BlizzCon news. And I guess the question becomes, Sam, so far, what do you think of BlizzCon? Has Blizzard done the job?
Okay, I think that it's a very hard task they had, and I think that it's going smoothly. We're going to find out in the coming days more details about these games, but I think, you know, the first day with the big announcements is the day where people will make their mind up as to if it's been a successful BlizzCon or not. And I do believe that in a lot of in most parts it has been. They've got on stage, they've acknowledged it. The whole Blitzchung thing. Now, some people, of course, aren't going to be happy with that, but I'm still glad that they've acknowledged it. You know. They've also shown us Diablo 4. It looks fine. You know, we've seen Overwatch 2. That looks great. I think all in all, it's on track. Now, we haven't heard anything about Diablo Immortal. Nothing on Diablo
It's
Immortal
weird,
yet.
and I wonder if that's one of the coming soon blocks that we'll see. Yeah, we've heard rumors of Diablo 2 remaster. Haven't seen anything on that. Heard rumors of Diablo Immortal.
Yep.
Haven't seen anything about Warcraft 3 Reforged here either.
Yep.
So there's obviously still more news to come. But look, overall, I would say so far so good. I mean, the Overwatch
Sure.
2 announcement I think is pretty strong. Shadowlands is a WoW expansion. You know, hey, it's a WoW expansion. They're always. That's just what they are.
Yep.
Hearthstone, auto tactics, auto team fight stuff.
Interesting way to go, but sure.
But I think that the Diablo 4 announcement has landed pretty well with fans, and directionally it's looking like what fans want, or artistically, I guess you could say. We'll have to see how it lands in terms of final gameplay. But, you know, so far, I think so good.
Yeah, I think that, you know, in the coming days, as I said, yeah, we will see more details, but I don't think that this is the fail that people were, like, expecting. Do you know what I mean? Like, the
I
only...
don't think anyone was expecting fail. I think
people were like, "Oh, this is going to be a shit show. There's going to be like protesters storming in
well,
and
the
whatever."
panels haven't
like,
started yet. The Q&As haven't
Sure,
started
so
yet.
that's going to be interesting in itself. But like also the whole protesting thing, like, will they just get tired and go home tomorrow? Maybe they'll do it all 3 days. We don't know, but it looks like it's all pretty tamed actually.
sure.
You know.
All right, so on from the drama of BlizzCon to our favorite video game of 2018 and
yes.
2019.
And 2020, guys.
And 20. Let's be real.
Okay.
And 2020. We are, of
Okay.
course, talking about Fallout 76. The
Now-
gift. Give it just a round of applause for Fallout 76.
Everyone in the chat, please clap
God
loudly.
bless you. Please
Especially
clap.
if someone's sleeping next to you, just make sure you just wake them up.
The great news, the fantastic news, is that the Australian government has deemed Fallout 76 to be a massive failure. That is actually their words.
Oh, really?
I swear to God, that's their
Oh,
words.
good.
Fallout 76, because a lot of people were requesting refunds for Fallout 76 in Australia last year when the game launched, and it was clear that it was fucked, right? And Australian consumer law is actually pretty good in protecting the consumer.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people, they were all declined their refunds, and a lot of people decided, well, fuck it, we'll take you to court, right? Or at
Yeah.
least to the ACCC, which is like our regulatory body. The ACCC has ruled on this, and they have ruled that people are entitled to refunds because Fallout 76 was so bad. And I'm trying to find the exact quote here. It says ZeniMax has acknowledged that they are likely to have misled certain Australian consumers about their rights to a refund when they experience faults within their Fallout 76 game. The quote from the ACCC reads, when a consumer has purchased a product that has a fault which amounts to a major failure, this is the Australian government's words, major failure, the Australian consumer law provides them with the right to ask for their choice of either a repair, replacement, or refund. There is no repairing this game.
No.
There is only...
And there's no replacing it.
There's no replacing it. There's only refunding.
There's only the one
okay?
option, everybody. What an interesting precedent, though. You know, like... Would you say that Anthem would also potentially be in this camp? Because it's like barely...
100%.
It would be close, because I think that Anthem's problem is it was so barren. You know, this is like...
It was also buggy garbage.
I didn't
it was
actually
so
have...
buggy.
Oh, it was bricking your console, that's right. The loading screens were forever.
My playthrough was completely balked. I had to go watch 2 cutscenes on YouTube because they wouldn't play while I was like playing the game.
Interesting precedent. I wonder if that will continue to happen. I think it's a great thing for gaming, though, because if actual gaming companies know that if they just release some live service piece of shit and they can fix it later, and it's not going to fly in certain areas, especially in Australia or whatever, then that's great, because that means that if I'm not happy with the product, then there's no risk for me. Then I don't have to worry so much about what lies they're telling me in the marketing. If I buy it and it's not what they've said it is, cool, give me my refund, see you later. Interesting precedent. I would like to see that more in future games.
Yeah, the thing here, the other interesting thing that they said was that, just to the details, I should say, is that they'll offer refunds to customers who contacted them about Fallout 76 issues between the 24th of November and the 1st of June. So it's not like you can now apply for a refund on the game, but that's a pretty big that's a pretty big
6
window.
months or something.
I mean, that's a long...
That's 7 months.
That's a long window of customers who, if they reached out at first, and I reckon if you reached out to them now, they probably will say yes just to avoid any problems.
Yeah, because all it takes is one other article saying, ZeniMax is still, refusing refunds in Australia.
So Australians, this is your chance.
Australia pulls through again,
That's right.
everybody.
Go Australia.
Love
We're so
it.
proud of you.
All right.
Our dollar
Scooter in one hand, refund in the other.
Bob Hawke would be proud.
He'd be very proud.
May you rest in peace. Good old Hawkeye. So that's that. Now let's. I think there's probably 1 or 2 more super chats. We'll. I'm trying to scroll down to these.
Oh.
Okay. Where do we start from? A wild Wooloo appears, £5.
Ooh.
Love the show, guys. Can we get a Disco Elysium review on Shill Up? Also, can't wait to play Death Stranding next week.
Everyone's talking about this.
I will definitely play Disco Elysium this year because too many people have said it's their game of the year for me to skip it. So I will come to that. Don't know when, but it will make it happen. King Chaos, $5. Hit the Dark Apocalypse Alliance raid, boy. I'm going to try and do that this weekend. It's a Final Fantasy XIV near raid, if anyone doesn't know. I recently learned about the Australian Emu War.
It's been happening for some time.
We're still losing.
Yes.
The emus are still in charge.
They're gaining a lot of traction.
Do you ever see Terminator 2? It just replaced Skynet and the robots with the emus, and that's what Australia is.
It's Emu Day. It's not good.
Rhino Flame, always a pleasure to be able to enjoy your faces. Love your work. Thank you very much.
Man.
$22,
that's
very generous.
Nice. Thank you so much, man.
And Phantom gave a $5. Love your work.
I love you too.
Blessed Fallout 76, aka A Bug's Life.
Yeah, A Bug's Life.
That's right.
Okay.
So then let's. What do we got next, Sam?
I feel like we got Death Stranding now.
No, this is. What's this one? Hang on. I gotta do the fancy thing where I hide it from you first.
Of course, just to see what it is.
This is the other thing that we didn't actually cover this week.
Okay.
This is hilarious.
Here we
Okay.
go.
Class warfare has broken out in
I saw this
in Fallout 76.
Yeah,
so basically,
you go.
if you got the Fallout First subscription because you were a fucking idiot, then you basically have like a little icon above your head to show that you're a paying customer. This is a common tactic in like video games, by the way, particularly mobile games, where they want to showcase when people have paid for the extra special thing to like normalize it in the social economy, you know? So it's like you want to make everyone think that if they don't pay for things, then they're not the cool kid.
Yeah,
they're missing out.
Fortnite does it with the skins. Apparently, you get paid out if you don't have you have a basic bitch.
I saw that current affair article as well, piece as well, Sam.
Yes.
Well done.
Bullying on Fortnite,
That's
everybody.
Right. So it turns out though that what gamers have been doing is ganging up on anyone that has one of these stars above their head or whatever to like gank them and just like
It's social suicide.
abuse
everybody.
them if they. But I reckon hats off to these
Yeah.
people. They are doing the Lord's work.
The thing is, right, look, I mean, can you actually grief players, though? You can't, though, right?
At least 5 to 7 people in teddy bear costumes kept punching me, one member complained.
The thing is, you can't actually do a lot of damage if you don't fight back. So, like, they'll obviously get bored and move on, right? Because they can't...
They will get bored and move on,
Yeah.
but it's fucking cool.
I mean,
though.
it is good.
It's
It
just
is good.
super cool.
But I was wondering, like, if people were actually getting their experiences changed. I don't think so, though.
Because Fallout 76 is such a broken and compromised product, it's possible to completely ignore literally 7 people ganking you because the game just did not commit to any kind of vision of like actual PvP tension.
Yep.
So
Yep. Now, guys, we get to it. The time.
This
The
is
moment
the
we've all been
time.
waiting for. Now, let's just start by saying I'm very surprised with the Death Stranding reviews. Extremely surprised to see such divisiveness with the actual review media outlets themselves. I was expecting the consumer to be in one of two camps. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Kojima is Jesus.
Which is us.
Which is us in some respects. But as I said, I was going into this review going, okay, let's put Kojima aside and actually review the game. As hard as that is, because it is hard to really
It's
separate
impossible,
them.
I think. You have to be realistic and say that obviously Kojima's stamp is so all over this that you can't divorce yourself and say like, well, I don't even care if it's
No, but
Kojima.
you can
like,
play a game and go, well, regardless of what Kojima's, reputation is, I'm going to go into this and go, do I like this game? Now, I was blown away to see, to finish that, I was expecting the consumers also to be on that camp. Yes, I love it, or I hate it. I think it's boring as fuck. We're seeing that also with the media outlets.
Well, okay, let's rephrase. Just to challenge that, right?
Sure.
We're looking at an 84 Metacritic, which is one of the highest rated games of the year. I mean, 84 is an exceptionally strong score for a game. Let's be real. Like, it's a fantastic score. Now, I do agree, though, that...
Outer Wilds beat that. Outer Worlds beat that.
Outer Worlds is also a fantastic game, though, right?
Sure.
So, I would say that I think there's this narrative going around of, like, it's really divisive. But what I would say is that I think overall, like, most of the critics agree this is a fantastic game. I think there's just a few specific voices, very respected voices, or people with a lot of clout, and fair enough, they don't like it. And that's okay. I don't disagree. I would make the very important point that people are allowed to like or dislike whatever they like.
Definitely.
And if someone wants to give this game a 6.8, which is what IGN gave it, I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. I read IGN's review, by the way. I read the whole thing and watched the video.
Yep.
A lot of people are dumping on that review and being like, it's terrible, blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with everything that's said in that review.
I don't agree with everything that was said in the review. As I said in our review...
Sorry.
You continue.
But I think it's a fair review. I don't think he was unfair in his treatment of the game. He just came down on the parts of the game, in the exact opposite way that I would come down on them. Do you know what I mean? So he saw in them the obverse of what I saw. And so I understand how he reached that perspective. And I think a lot of the reviews that I've read that really don't like this game or remarking it down are kind of doing the same thing.
I think that, a reviewer's job, although of course it's going to be different every time. I think overall, I do feel like they need to look at what they didn't like, what they did like, and match them together. And I just feel like the IGN one especially was weighing heavily on what was wrong with the game. And I just think that, to give it a 6.8 when they're giving other games that are pretty shitty, like a 7 or a 7.5, I mean, it's a big slap in the face. I mean, as people know from other media outlet reviews, if it's a 7, it's usually pretty bad. If it's an 8, it's okay. That's usually where it sits, To see them do a 6.8 for me is making a big statement about that they really didn't like it. And again, when I was reading that review, I was seeing that they were focusing on what they didn't like compared to a lot of the stuff that I feel like, that they could have spent a bit more time on,
Yeah.
But look, I mean, I'm surprised to see this at 84 because if we look at the Metacritic scores also, at the top there's like a dozen 100s, right? And then it tapers off to like a solid 90s.
Yep.
Then it goes now, and then there's quite a few 80s, 70s, and there's one that's at 35. The one at 35, okay.
There's a review from Survivor, an Australian publication, and they've rated the game 35.
I mean, look, dude, I'm sorry, but if you read the article, it borderlines on it's not really talking about the game. It's just talking about how much he hated everything in it.
This is, I think, the catchphrase. Let me be clear: Death Stranding is an irredeemable piece of garbage that should serve as a warning to publishers who give developers carte blanche to create art.
Yeah, I just don't. If you look at the comment section of that.
Yeah, that
you know,
review's getting
it's just like there's a
roasted.
general consensus there that this guy has just gone so harsh on a game that I do not believe you can ever put into the camp of it's a piece of garbage, because
Yeah.
you might not like the core gameplay loop. You might not like the story, but you cannot escape the fact that this was a highly ambitious project that was trying for something brand new, and in my opinion, largely succeeds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think a really good example is something like Sekiro, where I respect Sekiro immensely. Like, I could absolutely do a 1-hour video on Sekiro.
Oh, really?
Just talking about how much I respect that game, and really talking about its design decisions and why they exist the way that they do, and what effect they have on the player, and how considered they are. But I don't like Sekiro. Like, I don't want to play it again. Like, I don't. Do you know what I mean?
frustrated the hell out of me.
It was just,
I loved it, though.
It's just not my thing, but I respect it immensely, you know? And I really think that with Death Stranding, like, if you don't like it, I totally agree with that. But I think there's a lot to respect within this game. And I feel like, certainly this review from Stevivor just really didn't show it any of that respect that I think it deserves. And also, it just kind of, like, tried to roast it.
It just roasted the whole time. And I'm like, dude, if you're if you're looking to get clicks, like, that's all well and good, I guess. But, like, you're doing it at the detriment of your own reputation. Let's be real here, because, like, the review is so just. It's not. It's some parts are just like so ridiculous. I'm like, well, what? Like, you can't be taken seriously if you're just going to be sitting there and focusing on that the villain looks like a Mega Man. The characters sound like Mega Man villains and stuff. Like, cool, whatever. Like, I want to hear you talk about the actual game itself.
Sure.
And I feel like that whole thing was just. It was so biased on like being on the anti-Kojima train. And that's what it felt like to me. You know?
I understand. So, but look, overall, I recommend just checking out a few of the reviews.
Just scale down. Just scroll down while we actually do this so that people can see. So look, as you can see there in the corner right, it's actually showing you 41 for Dollhouse. I actually didn't know that was there. And what's it called? And go here, 100, 195.
Yeah. So I mean, it just takes this random smattering. The IGN ones are interesting because I think like IGN Japan gave it like 98 or 95, and then IGN like Italy gave it like IGN Spain 87, and then IGN US gives it like 6.8.
I saw that. And Italia or IGN Italia or whatever gave it like a 90.
Yeah. So they have a lot of spread within their own portfolio as well. But look, either way, I think it's a really interesting game to read the different reviews and get different perspectives on it. I think it's extraordinary, but I really understand how a lot of people won't like this. Edge Magazine are actually not reviewing it because they couldn't bring themselves to finish it.
Yeah. If it was a buggy mess like Fallout 76, I understand that because they've ultimately not given you a complete product. They've given you something that is so broken that okay, fine. You have then, I think, the excuse to say, I'm not going to finish this. This is not a buggy title. This is it might not be for you, but like, it's a very functional game that just, it's giving you a different take. So just to come out and say, we're not going to finish it because reasons, like, that's not really...
It's kind of like you've got one job.
It's like, that's your job,
Play the video games. Do you know what I mean?
That's what you're supposed to do, but like... whatever.
So I think actually someone also pointed out that the guy who gave this game a 30 also gave Andromeda a 95. So
I see. I wonder what he gave Fallout 76. I honestly wonder. But like, I wonder now. I mean, if this is going to be a game of the year, I still feel like my personal opinion that this is the best game that I've played all year. As I've said in the review, I think we've played all the major releases apart from Outer Wilds. I have not played that. But like, for me, this is the most ambitious, interesting new IP, new mechanics, interesting take on, what's it called? Interesting take on open world mechanics, weight distribution. Just something that a lot of people haven't seen. But from these media outlets, it's going to have an effect now if this wins.
I think this is absolutely a Game of the Year contender, but I don't necessarily think, based on this reception, it would win. I certainly think stuff like Sekiro and Devil May Cry 5 has far more universal acclaim. Disco Elysium, from an RPG perspective, people are absolutely adoring it. This one, it seems, given how divisive it's proved to be, it would be a tough sell for Game of the Year. But it definitely is on my list. It's the second best game I've played this year after Outer Wilds, not Outer Worlds. I loved Outer Worlds.
And I think a lot of people in the comment sections are kind of writing this game off already before, like, I really think you do need to play it first, Yeah,
I understand how people could look at this and this sucks. I get it. I totally get it. But it's, it's like saying 2001: A Space Odyssey is boring. Okay, sure, it is. But it's also really just transfixing if that's what you're looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Kojima did not make a game that he wanted the masses to enjoy. I think he was like, I want to make a game that I like, and I think this will resonate with a lot of people, which I think it will. Having said that, there's going to be a lot of people that it does not resonate with. But
For sure.
until it's out, until you play it, I really think it's hard to really cast what you think this game is going to be based on an IGN review or based on any review. Because ultimately, this is one of those odd games where, like, it doesn't matter what any review says, like, it's actually down to what you think when you play it.
TLJ Screwjob $5 says, ever thought of making an April Fool's Day Fallout 76 shill-up video like a 10 out of 10 Game of the Year trolling video, blind fanboy service?
I think Laymen could do that. And
Laymen
people
could do that.
yeah.
I feel like, actually, I would love to do a Fallout 76 1 year later video.
Ooh,
but I
post-mortem.
actually was thinking of doing that until they announced this Fallout, this fucking subscription thing. Because I was like, look, a lot of people are saying good things about it now. It's obviously improved. I'll give it a second chance. I'm sure I'm not going to love it, but at least I'll sort of highlight where it might have changed. But now, fuck that,
You
man.
should do a weekly show that drops on Monday called, like, The Schoolquisition. I think that's a great idea.
The what?
The Skillquisition.
Oh, God.
That's great.
That's terrible.
Jim Sterling, move over, man. We're going to take that. The Lamequisition.
Gavin's Ray, £10. Thank you very much. What's your thoughts on Terminator Resistance? I watched some footage of Terminator Resistance. It looks terrible. I don't know.
I don't think I've seen that yet.
It's very under the radar. But I watched the footage and I'm like, man, this is bare bones as fuck. Look, it's obviously a small studio, small title, whatever. I'm not going to judge it yet, but certainly from what I saw from early pre-release stuff, it was kind of like, I think this needs more time to bake.
I wonder if it's
That's
going to
out
be
pretty soon as well.
I wonder if it's going to be like the many other, movies that try to become games, and it doesn't translate.
Otavio from Brazil, take 20 Brazilian bucks directly from this major traffic jam during rush hour as a thank you for the company and for keeping me awake. And thank you, Australia. Not all heroes wear capes, some wear government badges.
That's exactly
nice.
right.
Well put,
Thank
my
you so
friend.
much,
Very well put.
Otavio.
Very poetic. Angry Liquid, would you say if you're a fan of the Metal Gear series, you'd like this game? I'm hearing you're a mailman, and that's brunt of the gameplay. Sounds not fun. Thank you very much, Angry Liquid. I would not necessarily say that if you're a fan of Metal Gear's gameplay, you would enjoy this. I would say if you're a fan of Kojima's storytelling style
And the world he creates.
you'll enjoy this then, because it's this peak Kojima. So if you really just get sucked into the characters and like the drama and the kind of like the ridiculousness of Kojima's storytelling style, then I think you'll really love this.
Yep.
But if you want to be able to shoot things, then you will not enjoy this because that's like not what this game's about at all. So
Yep.
35 Monty,
score.
thank you very much for $2. Spirit Essence Gaming, Laming, Sam looks great with 20 Donkey Kong coins.
Donkey Kong coins.
Escapee, Survivor Layman Gaming Review, 2 out of 10. Facial hair, not enough facial hair. Keep up the good work, boys.
I love you, man.
Thank you very much, Escapee, for $10. Greetings from France. Keep up the good work for €5.
Thank you.
Will you guys be covering Path of Exile Con and their expansion announcement? $5. Wolf. I actually don't play the game, so I
don't buy
can't. I wish it's the kind of game you really need to spend time with to speak about.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to play like 15 minutes of Final Fantasy 14 and then do a review. So I'll do that with that one too.
I've seen reviews like that, by the way. Brian Keith for $10. Thank you very much. And Gregory, did you ever review Outer Wilds? Not yet. What did I think? It's my game of the year. It's the best thing I played all year. It's the best thing I played since God of War.
Ooh.
So, yes.
8 minutes left.
We've only got 8 minutes left.
We've got a few things. What's the best title? I mean, what's the best news we want to cover?
Well, look, let's just talk very quickly about what we've heard from EA, where they've made very clear what their focus is going forward. Dragon Age 4 gets a disappointing release window from EA. I don't agree with this headline. This is just the first thing that I was able to click on for this. This is a shitty headline. Okay, so basically, Dragon Age 4 is more than likely going to be sometime around 2022, which is a long way off. Now, people call this disappointing. I don't call this disappointing.
But sometimes you got to take time, man.
Just don't fucking rush it. Like, Anthem is the perfect example, and Fallout 76 is a perfect example of what you do when you rush a game.
Sure.
So I don't look at this as disappointing. I'm like, take all the time you need, man. Make a good game. That's fine with me.
One thing that we've seen, apart from like the likes of Anthem, like if you really take your time and you are on a direction, if you do need to prolong a game, like Last of Us is doing and like Watch Dogs is doing, that usually is a good time. Like sometimes, because it means like, look, we just want to take a little bit more time. We want to make sure this is right. So that's cool. Whatever. I think it's worse the other way around. If they're like, oh, we got to get this game out, and then it ends up being garbage.
Fallout 76 garbage.
Garbage.
It's a perfect game. Next Battlefield will come by 2022. Apex Legends is the other next. Apex Legends will be EA's annual shooter for 2020. So,
Apex Legends 2 in terms of they're just going to keep it.
They're just going to push out further with
cool.
Apex Legends. They're going to continue. So basically, the next Battlefield is still quite a ways off, and So what they're saying is that we're going to put more effort into Apex. We're going to continue to add more stuff to it. We're going to bring it to mobile, which is big.
Yes.
And they're also going to release it in China, which, that's going to be interesting to see how that all goes.
EA is still in good terms with China, right? They didn't have the whole Blizzard thing. Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
We're looking forward to the
Blizzard you think EA would give a fuck about freedom of speech?
Man. Am I looking forward to the new Apex Legend esports moment? Everyone's just like putting up Blitzchung or like some free Hong Kong shit.
Yeah, so look, Battlefield fans I know are going to be disappointed that it's a while off for their next game because, it's Battlefield 5 right now. Yeah. It's doing okay, but no one really loves it.
Well, they did close down their Battle Royale.
They closed that down?
I believe they did, right? I remember we either covered that or they did something with their Battle Royale that it was not succeeding.
I know it's not succeeding, but I don't necessarily think they closed it down. I think it's still available to play.
Is it? Okay, there's something that
wrong.
they actually closed. I thought it was Battle Royale. Maybe it's something else that they've. Oh, that's right. Was it duo queues or something? Anyway, something in Battlefield 5 that the population queues was low enough that they had to like redesign how you actually queue for things. Maybe the Battle Royale is still there. But all I know is Battlefield 6 or whatever they're going to call it will be interesting to see.
Epic Game bad news. It can't be a Laymen live episode without Epic Games bad. Turns out that they're actually adding reviews to the storefront, but they're only critic reviews. So they are working with OpenCritic to integrate. This is what you'll sort of see on the storefront, where you'll see critic reviews on the page. Now, I look fine. It's a start.
Look, media outlets. I mean, this. It's too controlled. You know,
I agree.
I mean, you only get usually, as I said, like a 7 out of 10 or some shit, and like a lot of the time they are very conscious about like making sure they've got relationships and whatnot. Like, I know that's a generalization, and some of course will just say what they want, but a lot of the time I don't find that they're hard-hitting reviews that really tell you what you need to know.
Look, I don't agree with that characterization, but I would say that I just feel like having the voice of people as opposed to critics is very important, because critics are a very small sample size, versus, and look, some of them are great, some of them are not, but I think that you're talking about a couple of hundred people versus literally millions of people.
Sure.
So I think that's why it's important to have user scores. Yes, I know there can be review bombing, I get it, but if there's review bombing, there's usually a reason for it. Like 9 times out of 10, it's because the company's done something like objectively shitty and people are like making their voices heard.
I'm just worried that, as I said, like, it just creates a situation where it can be, I don't know, like, I think you're right in terms of, I want to see from people that have no reason to say it's good or bad. They're just like, if I liked it, I liked it, where, I don't know, it's going to be difficult, I think, if we're only going to be seeing these types of reviews from other outlets.
Look, it's a start, at least from Epic. I mean, it's something.
Yeah, cool,
something.
I guess so.
So, I guess the very last story we'll cover, two last stories. First of all, Xbox All Access is something.
Yes.
We'll show you very quickly. Basically, how right now you can kind of like get a phone on a plan? Mm-hmm. What you're going to be able to do now is they're doing this in Australia as well, is you can basically pay like $20 a month and you get an Xbox and also like Xbox Live and Game Pass Ultimate and stuff.
Yeah.
So essentially it's like the phone
version
format, but now for consoles.
I wonder if it's going to be like that also for the next Xbox.
Well, that's exactly what they said. They said this is going to be available for Scarlet.
Yeah, cool,
this is really, I think, a great move because, the cost of entry for consoles, particularly new consoles, very high. Sorry. I'm just like...
bourbon everywhere.
Like you have to front up usually about $500 or $600 if you want to buy, the new console, games, controllers, etc. It's expensive to outlay that. And if you could just pay like $20 a month instead, obviously you are paying more over time. That's how finance works. But it's interesting to know that they're going to be going down this path and they are offering this for Scarlet. And if you want to get a day one console, you can and just pay like $20 for it. I think it's pretty good.
I think we're going to see this probably from PlayStation, because I just think it's such a great way to get people in without giving them a huge commitment financially up front. The whole battle is, of course, you want to sell units, but you also want to sell games, right? So if people are feeling like, I want to buy that, but I've got to wait a few months to save up, if they can jump on now, you can sell more games, you can get that, more people, in your network, in online player. It's just such a smart move. I'm surprised we didn't see this earlier.
Sure.
So we'll have to see. I do think that'll be a success. And if, I to be honest, I would probably do the same thing. If I was like, I'll just buy this and it'll be $20 and it'll end up being maybe another $100 or $200 over the 48 months that I pay it off, but like, fuck it, whatever, you barely feel it, you know?
So the last story then is PlayStation has decided to trademark PlayStation 6,
saw
7,
that.
8, and 9, and 10. So obviously we can expect the next, like, 50 years of console generations. They're all locked in now.
I mean, I don't
this
think
is
we're gonna
realistically
see
the
this.
next 25 years of consoles.
We're not going to say this, people. There's no
because
way.
we'll be dead.
We'll be dead, but on top of
We'll be
that,
dead by that
from
point.
all the radiation from being on YouTube. But I do think that
Toxic radiation.
all the cameras and all this shit in this room.
Yeah.
No, I do think that, look, they're getting these ready, but they know the future, okay? There's always going to be a small market potentially for consoles, but like streaming, 5G, I mean, are we going to see a lot of, like, 3 or 4 consoles in the future? Probably not. I think
You just triggered the chat, Sam.
I know I triggered the chat, but I do believe that. I
just
do
did it.
believe that people, if they can stream games on their TV or their phones, like, why would then you fork out $500, even if there is a plan for it now? Why would you do that if you can just do a $9, $10 subscription monthly to PlayStation on your phone, on your TV, and you get everything for it? That's going to be the future, I think, just like we've seen with music and movies. I think it's on the same trajectory. You know?
Yes. Well,
we will see. Ralph's like, oh, you
we
kind
will
of
see.
agree, right? Like, or you don't.
I'm
throwing Raph into this.
No, I believe that there is always a place for physical hardware. Always.
This is the difference, right? It's one thing to create a CD that plays on like a DVD player. It's another thing to have to, as a company, invest hundreds of millions of dollars into the next console. That's a whole other financial undertaking where I don't know if they're going to see the rewards of that if so many people are in fact playing on streaming devices in the next coming 5-10 years.
Sure.
Which I think is going to happen. If God of War 2 or whatever comes out on I can play it on the bus, on a phone that's now pretty big, it looks like a Switch, like, I'm probably going to do that.
I don't know, man. I'd rather play God of War at home.
Sure. That's the second point.
Minecraft, maybe I wouldn't mind.
That's the second point. That's the second point. If I want to get home after playing on the bus and play on a 65-inch television, I can also do that too. It just gives you like a
player choice.
It's player choice, but it also gives you a value proposition that we're not seeing with consoles at the moment.
Speaking of choice, these people have chosen to give us a super chat, so let's read it out.
Oh,
now,
let's see the
Sam.
choice. Okay.
So Silverhawk, welcome back, buddy. Damn, this is real money for £10. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Leo Speed Leo, €5. Hello from Germany, we're as bad at building airports as Australia is at fighting emus.
Are you guys bad at building airports? I did not know that.
I don't know anything about that, so I'd have to take your word for that. Rob Harper says, appreciate the news and the occasional highlights of indie games like Tower of Time. Would love to see you do more indie reviews. I would love to do more indie reviews as well. I'm definitely going to come to Disco Elysium at some point because everyone loves it. Thank you very much for $15.
Yeah, we were thinking of doing some sort of weekly segment or bi-weekly segment of, remember that? Indie reviews. It's
like
an
to.
interesting idea.
I do
you
like
know?
to. Cool, guys. Anyway, look, that's the show for the
That's it,
week.
guys.
It's been
Thank you
massive.
so much.
The Blizzard stuff. There's obviously going to be more Blizzard news coming in the next 24 hours. We may do a video on it tomorrow if it's juicy enough. Otherwise, we'll probably wait till Monday. Thank
Like
you
and
all
subscribe,
for the support.
everybody.
Like and subscribe, lol. And we will see you next time.
Young